I welcome you to the Canto 4 of my long narrative poem, Sita. In this canto, I would be talking about Sita's character as an ideal woman. The proximity of Sita links to folk narratives. But however, it doesn't mean that the generic boundaries collapse absolutely when Sita is connected to folk poetry. The creative exchange of techniques or the modes of articulation across the genres doesn't imply that the distinctions caress. The fact that me, despite being a compiler of folk tales, chose poetic form for my creative aspirations need to be paid attention. The choice of poetic form is not arbitrary, it is inherent in the nature of the experience itself. We cannot transfer the same experience from one form to another without deadening its quick throb. Once dead, it can be transferred anywhere to play or to a poem or to a story, but it would be dead and a sad story unless I talk about the boundaries. The folk narratives, despite being archetypes of consciousness, remain subtextual to my poetic enterprise. A cardinal question, however, remains unanswered. Do the real narratives, which have been my inspiration in making Sita a poem, form the inner or even the innate world of my poetic forms? Or do I use the narratives to generate some kind of post-modernist intertextuality? Probably this canto is an answer to that question. I leave it to my readers and my listeners to decide that. Now, let me recite Canto 4 of the long narrative poem Sita. I am the dutiful, beautiful wife of Ram. My story is the best observance of Dharma, notwithstanding the harsh tests of life and time. There are anticipations and obligations that I cannot renounce. There is a pyramid of liabilities for me that I must achieve with self-mastery, ceasing to be fashion's slave. I am the wife of the ideal man, the impeccable, unblemished human. For father's honor, you left your privileges to Koshala's throne, vowed to serve an exile of 14 long years in forest alone. With foreboding gratefully acknowledged, I knew instantaneously that the meaning of wifehood is different. With my veiled acquisitiveness coming into the vulnerable, I was only running a self-surpassing content en route for annihilation. In God's garden of consciousness, I and Lakshman orchestrated our symphonies and went on to the forest with you, O Ram. Please tell me, what was the blunder of the shy Urmila? Her defying comprehension, faith, courage, and holiness left her alone to dry up petal by petal without her husband. For long 14 years, more than one yug, where did your unending compassion to values and duty vanish in this agenda of pain for her, O Ram? In your Ram Rajya, in the rules of happiness, peace, prosperity, and justice for all, what is this disclosure to the performance of unremitting heart throbbing, where does she stand? In your endless regiment of abundant love for all, what was essayed for her? My Lord, still your praises remove the contaminations of the Kali Yuga, soothe the soul. You are the home of peace and prosperity. Severe is the encumbrance of immortality in the Kali Yuga, nor faith, neither wisdom, nor contemplation, neither atonement console me. I am perceptive because I abandon all faith except Ram Nam, Hari Nam. You are my faith. O human, faith is the only fruit to boost your life blood. Wherever Raghupati passes in your soul, being the faith, mists make a shadow in the heaven. Let faith put up with the moon in your night sky, because that is the regular of all passions, disputes, and pain, the conqueror of death, the enchantment of the corporation called heaven, the source of compassion, at once impersonal and personified, like and unlike, gifted with a form yet formless, surpassing all understanding, speech, and perception, untainted, impeccable, illimitable faith in Ram Nam. Adore him, surrender to him. He is the cure to all errs, cupidity, immodesty, desire. Ram is the channel to cross the deep sea of life. He is the menace of power, the curer of all haze, the patron of magic, the congregation of rectitude, honesty. I adore him. I am the woman in love.